And I was taken alone to outside where the dogs were barking and so on. And there was a prison van there that they stuffed me in with 2 comrades from Turkey. And then they closed the door on us. It was a hot, stuffy, claustrophobic van with the only ventilation being plexiglass holes in the front where the guards could look behind us who were driving and see us. And before we left, because we didn't know what was happening at the time, but they were loading up all the prison vans and the buses to drive us all to the airport. But we had no idea what was going on. And the only time the door was opened was when we were sitting waiting there, and some man with sunglasses accompanied by an Israeli guard we took some videos and photos of us, of the 3 of us chained up there in the prison van while the guard kept his assault rifle trained on us. And then they shut the van again. And about 5 to 6 hours later of riding through the desert, we had no idea what was going to happen. I was thinking in my mind, I was trying to be as calm as I could, but after the last 4 days, I'd realized that I had no power to discern what was going to happen next. And it was a few options. I was saying to myself, well, they could be taking us to our consulate. They could be taking us to our lawyer. They could be taking us to another prison. They could be taking us to the middle of the desert to do some horrific thing to us or to kill us. I had no idea. Or the best option was they'd be taking us to the airport, which is where we wound up. And when we got to the airport, my experience was they finally opened the door after hours of us sitting on the in front of the airport. And once we sort of limped out, gasping, we noticed, even though the guards surrounded us on our way through the airport and escorted us to the tarmac, they didn't do it forcefully because there was onlookers around. There was, Israeli citizens at the airport. And so they made a sort of a show of trying to look nice, kind to us, which was odd. And we walked down to the tarmac. I still didn't know what was going on. And once I got in the plane, I looked down and I saw so many of my friends and comrades, and I realized what was going on. And we flew out of there and we were deported to Istanbul. And so that is a personal account of the experience through my eyes. It's worth, I think, reiterating again that on my prison boat alone, there was over 30 cases of fractured and broken ribs. There was over 10 cases of brutal sexual assault. And there was cases of beaten faces, broken noses. And what's most important, I think, is that every single one of us was treated to a detailed, efficient, systematic torture and abuse. It was evident from the very beginning that this was highly planned. It was not spontaneous. It was highly detailed. It was also deeply sickening because the entire experience felt sort of like a training for new torturers and a training for new guards and soldiers. And what disgusted me is that as I heard my friends being raped and tasered in the shipping container, not only was it hard to hear that, but I realized that what they were doing to us was sort of probably a practice for them of what they were going to do on Palestinians next week or something.